Hi, we're Nia and Marianne from Seren Health Coaching. We are metabolic health coaches who are passionate about good metabolic health for everyone. We also love to chat about all things health and to share as much information as we can with people who want to make changes to their lifestyle but aren't quite sure where to start. We're going to release a new episode every Friday where we talk about a different aspect of health. So do subscribe and let us know what you think. We'd also love to know what you're interested in too. So if there's something that you'd like us to have a chat about, do send us a message and we'll do our best to cover it soon. Hello, Marianne.
Hi, Nia.
How are you today?
I'm all right.
Good.
What are you
Well,
going
we're
to
going to
ask
have
me about today?
we're going to have a discussion today. It's not going to be a Q and
Uh-huh.
a as such. We're going to talk about why we are health coaches and why people might want to come and have a course of health
Mm,
coaching and what it's all about, because I think a lot of people are confused about what a health coach
yeah.
is. There's a
Or why
lot
you'd want
of,
one.
or why you'd want one. Um, there's a lot of sort of misconception around it, and it's a fairly new um, kind of
Concept, yeah.
branch of coaching, because I think a lot of people say, "Oh, are you a life coach?" Well, no, we're not life
No.
coaches, which is
No,
probably
messed our own lives up enough, yeah.
probably a really good thing, isn't it, Marianne?
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
we do know
We know a
about
bit more
health.
about health than life.
We do.
Yeah.
And
So,
and just talking about what we do and our approach to health coaching and why somebody might want to work with us.
so in a nutshell, my sort
Mm,
of take on this is that everybody you ask would want to be healthy. So
yes,
wherever you are on this sort of line, whether you're young, old, whether you have chronic disease or not, if you ask people, they would want to make the best of their health. Generally
yes.
speaking, there are very few absolute fatalists around who are not
That's it.
interested, but there are some. I've met them.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah. Me too. Yeah.
most people want to be healthy, and they also know that there are areas of their health that they might be able to improve. So I think if
Absolutely.
you start there, so most people would say, "Oh yeah, I really, really want to add exercise, but I know I want to, but I can't. I'm just too busy, too tired, can't find the time." Or I know I should eat better.
But
I
I
do
don't have
eat
the
quite
time.
healthily, but then I eat all the other stuff as well.
Yeah,
So
and I think a lot of people think that so long as their main meal is
yeah.
has a few vegetables in it, that's healthy eating, right? And they don't really understand. But then there's the
Okay.
other side of the coin, which both of you and I know more about because we're in this world where there's all this social media
Yes.
bombardment of this is
Yes,
health, you should be
exactly.
taking protein
Yeah.
shakes, you should have
Yeah.
supplements, you should be
Yeah.
and I mean some of that, let's be honest, is complete and utter tosh. So
Well,
we
generally,
need
it's
to
trying to sell you something. So,
indeed.
yeah, all the questions that then come with, but how much protein do I need and how much exercise is good for me? And the
Yeah,
problem is, none of this is an exact science. So, is health coaching the bit you're missing? So maybe you get up every Monday morning and you think, this is the week. I'm going to do some, I don't know, squats, weights. I'm
oh
really
joy.
going to try to eat well, whatever it is. Maybe you're worried
Mhm.
about your weight. Maybe you're worried about the fact that you're not exercising. Maybe you're worried about your stress levels, the fact you don't sleep very well, all these things. But today's the day I'm going to, but then you don't really know where to start. So, is a health coach that facilitator, as I would see it,
Yeah, so
who
we
will,
always describe health coaching as the missing part of the puzzle. So,
yeah, exactly.
there's a lot of people come to health coaching having had an experience or what we might call a
Or
health
many.
anxiety or many
Mm,
many issues where someone, a healthcare professional, has said, now come on now, the way that you can deal with this health issue of yours is that you need to eat better, you need to exercise more, you need to take control of your weight, you need to manage your blood sugars, your
all
cholesterol,
of which things
etc.
they know, really. Yeah.
All of which they know, but sometimes it can come from a place of the doctor or the nurse or whoever you've seen sort of saying, well, you're not doing enough, you're not doing it right. And but they're thinking, but I have done this, I've signed up for this diet, I've done this gym program, I'm really trying. But what they don't realize is that it's not about the big grand gesture, as we like to call it. It's
Yeah.
actually about the small things, the sustainable things that you do consistently that actually can change your life. So it's a small tweak rather than a grand gesture. And that's where your
Okay.
health coach comes in.
And we're all different about that even. So it might be some
Absolutely.
people need more grand gestures and other people to sustain things definitely need to start with very small tweaks.
Yep.
Both methods have been done. The grand
Yep.
gestures often fail in the long term because of the
Because they're not
nature of the
sustainable.
grand
Yeah.
gesture.
Mm.
But what about the health coach bit? So why do you need a coach? Can't you just go and do this? But I sort of think about if you were very keen on playing the violin, for instance, and you
Hmm.
really know you want to play the violin, you've been on YouTube and you've got a violin,
Yep.
but but would it would it help if you actually had a coach? Because that coach who plays the violin an awful lot better than you and has done a lot of work to get to be able to coach you, they're
Mm.
surely going to shorten the time it takes you
Yeah.
to learn to be a better violinist. And you could talk about athletes in the same
Yeah,
way, or
I like your analogy of a violinist because I am one. And I had lots of violin teachers, obviously. So yes, you could say anyone can pick up a violin and they can put
yeah,
their fingers on the strings and they can put
yeah,
their bow across the strings and
yeah,
they can produce a sound. And that is absolutely true. You can produce a sound.
yeah,
But as we all know, it's not necessarily a nice one.
no,
And there is far more to playing the violin than just knowing where the notes are. There's the way you hold your bow, there's how you
yeah,
put your fingers down, there's the technique that you establish over a long period of time. And if somebody is there to hold your hand and to show you the way to do that, you will get from A to B. So, A being just being able to hold it, and B producing a nice sound much faster than if you just did it by yourself. And that is what health coaching is about. Somebody
I,
who has
yeah,
already done it and
yeah.
has the insight and can actually move you from A to B by helping you with the small things and encouraging you and empowering you to do it for yourself without feeling that you have to um, just follow a prescription, and encouraging you to integrate that into your life in a way that makes sense to you. And that's the beauty of it, because even you and I do things differently because we are made
Yeah,
differently, we're unique,
yeah,
and the way that we choose to do things is different, but it
and
works for us.
we've learned over time that unlike violins, that people have personalities, which adds
They
a sort
do.
of complexity to that coaching. So I like the idea of seeing myself as somebody that somebody would come to for clarification, first of all, about where they are wanting to go and how they see things ahead. And I hope that health coaching can inspire them to work on that sort of vision. So,
Yeah.
for instance, as you well know, I was never an exerciser and I really, really didn't want to be one. But
But now you
various
are.
inspirations along the way have coached me into changing my mind completely about exercise. So can we see health coaching as that sort of facilitating process that clarifies where you want to go and who you want to be? And
Mm,
then we have various techniques, a bit like the violin teacher,
teacher.
that
Mm,
might work differently for different people. And our clients will choose, in a sense, the things that suit them. But we might be
mm.
able to shorten the process a little bit of what works well in the long term. And we're all about the long term, aren't we? We're definitely not about
Not,
short term fixes. So
no.
if you want a short
S
term fix, we're not yours,
No,
really.
we're not your guys. I think, both of us have a background in health, and we've had training in consultation skills and how we should talk to patients, for example, and coaching is a completely different conversation, because you and I used to have somebody come in, they'd have X, Y, and Z problems, and we would say, here are A, B, and C
Mm.
solutions. Off you pop and go and do it.
We would be
But
quite prescriptive in
we would,
our
and
advice.
quite
Yeah.
directive. You must do this is your
Yeah.
solution. But health coaching is about exploring different solutions and saying, well, this might work for you and it might not. But what do you think and what would work. What do you know about yourself? It's exploring
Mm.
what's happened to you before, where you want to go, and trying to find a route through that encompasses your past experience and your future inspiration, really, to join up.
And the nice thing about health coaching for us is, if you talk in that analogy, that patients came to us and they weren't necessarily wanting to do what we were going to prescribe.
No.
I almost see health coaching as the mature student coming, who's much more
Yes.
open to wanting that end result and is happy to look at the different options and maybe choose and empower themselves with what works for them, and that be
Mm,
different. Some people, for instance, really like the accountability that we might be able to provide, certainly in the short term before they transition to making that internal accountability
yeah.
to themselves.
Yeah.
But for some people, it's really useful as a step to have some external goal setting and external accountability. Doesn't work for
Yeah.
everybody. But I
And
sort
the
of
other
think,
thing that, yeah, that we do is, and I think this is, it's all very well and good saying, yes, we'll help you with your goal setting. And it all sounds very nice and quite airy fairy. But the other thing that we do is we challenge you. So we're not going to
yeah.
accept a goal that's based on very shallow foundations. We link you from the beginning to the end of the goal. We want to show progress. We're not interested in you going, yeah, just want to drink more water. We want to know, well, what impact is that going to have on your life? What will that help you
And
to do?
why will you do it? Why will you
Why will you
keep
do
it
it?
going?
What's
Is
your
there a
motivation?
reward?
Yeah,
Do you feel better? If you
exactly. So,
don't, you're not going to do
no,
it.
exactly. So we have to, it's not a shallow process. It's actually quite hard work. But as with all things that are quite hard work, if it's worth doing, it's worth doing the work,
The
because
rewards
the
are great.
impact
Yeah.
of the process is huge. And we
Yeah,
have
the
seen that
rewards are
firsthand.
great.
Yeah.
So what do we love about coaching? It's valuable and
Different.
effective. I love the positivity about it. So if you're talking the analogy of the patient
Mm,
again, there was a lot of negativity around, if you don't keep to this rule,
you're
something bad's going
judged.
to happen to you. We're
Do you
on
know,
the
and
other
there's,
side now. We're saying
yeah,
this is about hope. This is
it
about
is.
positivity. This is about moving forward. This is about making the very best of your health situation, whether you're living with chronic disease, whether you're living with an aging process that you might find challenging, whether you're young and healthy but just want to
Mm,
keep,
mm.
or whether you're older and healthy and just want to keep that health. So we're in the positive, happiness, resilience
Yeah,
line.
I love that too. I think it's positive. There is nothing to stop you making a small change, and that small change can have a big impact. And instead of me or you or any healthcare professional telling somebody, well, if you don't do this, you're going to
Yeah,
end up with this.
exactly.
That's depressing, that's
Really
demotivating,
depressing.
that's
Yeah.
disempowering, that's telling somebody they're not good enough, that's setting them up to fail before they've even started. And I can't see how that's going to help them in the long run.
Well,
We
it does help occasionally because people, are different in
are
terms of how they
shocked into
respond
doing
to things.
something.
Yes,
Yeah.
but it's a bit
But
like a
long
doctor
term,
saying, "Please give up smoking because you've got this whatever it is." I think for some people that works, but what we're in is we're in it
we're
for
in
the
the
long term.
empowerment.
We
Yeah.
want to empower you to continue long beyond where we are involved in any way, and it's about investing in yourself. So uh, it also saves people money. I like that idea, that investment in themselves,
Yeah.
because as you grow older, maybe not at your age, health
Ooh.
becomes so much more important than almost anything else. And that
Because
investment, random
without
things
your
happen.
health, you
Yeah.
can't do the things that you love.
No.
So if you're getting up in the morning and the thing that you really love is going out and socializing with your friends, but you can't get out of bed, or when you do get out of bed, you feel so poorly you don't feel able to leave the house, you suddenly lost your social connection. And that's
Mm,
huge and really
mm.
impactful. So your health enables you to have that connection and to share your life with with others, which is so
You
important.
don't really understand health till you lose it, and I think
There was
that's
that
one of the
interesting quote,
problems.
wasn't there? If you don't make time for your wellness, you will have to make time for your illness. So if you don't
Exactly.
prioritize being well, then an illness will cut you off at the knees
It's very
almost.
hard to imagine that when you're young, and I remember being
I think
exactly
so,
the same
yeah.
and taking my health for granted completely. And as you age, you also realize that the difference it will make to your ability to enjoy things is so
Mm,
enormous that you
mm,
would pay for a lot of health coaching if that would make the difference to you being able to go vanning around Europe or walk the Camino or all the
yeah,
things that you think you would like to
to
do,
do.
and by the time you get there you can't actually do. So I'm all for health coaching. I'm sold on the whole idea.
Mm,
I think it's a great investment. I never actually interestingly think it's that expensive because it's in a way you're buying quite short-term tools for very long-term rewards.
mm, mm.
So if I had any advice, I'd say try it. There are different health coaches for different people, by the way. So it's definitely worth shopping around to see what people's backgrounds are because all health coaches will have certain
Different areas
uh,
of expertise.
areas of
Yeah.
interest,
And I
and
think it
aligning that with what you want is definitely
is
worth
really
doing.
important. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we obviously, if you've listened to this, you'll know we're interested in
Yeah,
metabolic health and all the
we
things that
are.
make up your metabolic health. So
Yeah,
but
yeah,
there are other people who coach specifically around things like work stress
yeah.
or burnout,
Or
um,
or neurological things or even, all sorts of
cancer.
things. So,
There are health coaches who coach for cancer. So
yeah,
there's huge lots of
yeah,
variation. But the other thing is, don't be afraid to have a chat or have a look around people's websites and
exactly.
see whether or not um, they align with
Align
what
with
you're
your
looking for.
yeah.
Because your coach is not a therapist, but in the same way, you're going to have conversations with these
You
people
want a
over a number
rapport.
of weeks. You
Yeah,
want to establish trust, and you want to establish a good working relationship because they are working for
yeah.
you, and it's an important connection, and you want to feel like that person truly is on your side, and that's what health coaching is all about. It's
Like a
somebody in your
cheerleader,
corner.
really. It's definitely not just a chat. I suppose that's what we
It's
should say
not.
health coaching isn't.
Yeah.
It isn't just a chat with somebody nice because,
No.
you need more than that out of that
Yeah.
relationship. It's, we can all be, chatty with somebody nice, but you really don't need to pay for that.
No, no, you don't. No. I mean, you can have a nice chat with
So
mum.
and almost every health coach I know will have a free access to some sort of discovery call or something that explains where they're coming from and whether you're a good
Yeah.
fit. And it works both ways, by the way. So health coaches might also feel they don't fit with your needs. So I
Mm.
think it's establishing that in an easy way. It is, I quite understand, quite scary
I think it's
to
quite
make that
daunting.
first move sometimes.
Yeah.
But
And with
you,
coaching, I think people don't necessarily, you're not buying a physical product, so it's difficult to see what
yeah,
you're getting.
exactly,
But
exactly.
so that's why it's so important to understand the process of health coaching. And as we said, what we're trying to help you to do rather than what we're giving you to
Yeah.
do. In the
We're
same
not
way
doing
as,
prescriptions.
no,
We're helping you make a model that works for you in terms of moving you forward on that way to becoming the healthy, energetic person you want to be.
yeah, we
Um,
believe in you. We know that
you
you
can
can
do
do
it.
it.
You can do
And
it.
we don't say that lightly because we
No.
actually know that is possible. And
Yeah, for
we
everybody.
believe, yeah, for everybody.
Yeah,
So we believe there is an opportunity to make a difference to your health no matter where you're starting from.
exactly.
And we will do everything within our power to help you get there. I like that. We're in the
Lovely.
business of hope. I like
You're
hope.
my health coach actually, so that's just a little bonus of a little bonus of working with you.
Oh, did you pay me for that?
No, it's mutual, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It
I hope.
absolutely is. Absolutely.
All right.
Cool.
See you soon.
See you
Bye
soon.
for now.
Bye bye.